today we're gonna have a beautiful session. So last week and couple of weeks actually, right? Last couple of sessions, we spoke about three distinct differences and three most important things that we need to ask if you want to know, or you want to be in the path of truth, you want to be in the path of enlightenment, liberation, you want to be in the freedom, you want to be, more like pursuit of happiness, peace, sorrow-free state. A lot of those things we spoke about it. Who am I? What is real? What is love? Now, with that, we're going to talk today about what is that in truth I am achieving? This is the most important question. What am I achieving in truth? In pursuit of truth, what am I achieving? What is my goal? Everybody has got a different definition of truth, but truth has got only one definition for itself. Truth, the characteristics of truth is peace and happiness. If I say fire, what is the characteristic? The inherent characteristic of fire is heat. Fire equal to heat. You cannot differentiate between them. Similarly, truth equal to peace, happiness. Sat-Chit-Ananda, Satya, Atma, whatever we call that. So right now, what is happening is, in pursuit of this truth, I have my own definition of it. Some might come back and say that I want a sorrow-free state because I'm going through so many things. Some want to know, I am not my body, mind, I am a soul. Some come and talk about, I want happiness in my life. Some, ask for peace. And, everyone has got their own definition of it. But when I put this one question, what is the pursuit of truth? In my pursuit of my own truth, what is that matters? Where is truth? In my body, right? In my whole system, where is the truth? Can anyone say that? Where is the truth in my body? In each of our bodies, or in the entire systemic, right? We as a system, where is truth? Is it everywhere? Is it only at one place? It's like I'm talking to myself here. All the black screens, and I'm the only one having the screen.
Truth is everywhere, actually.
Truth is everywhere. Okay. Where is everywhere? What do you mean everywhere?
Truth is the soul. Soul is, like.
These are just words, right? The definition of truth. When you say truth is everywhere, where is it? Where is everywhere? So the answer is yes, truth is everywhere. But when I bring that answer to myself within my system, where is the truth? How do I experience the truth, right? I need to have my connection with the truth. If I say, hey, my body is truth, then why is truth is eternal? Then why is body dying? Right? If truth is everywhere, my body is dying, my mind is dying as well at some point.
So the soul remains. So the soul is the truth.
Soul is the
body.
truth.
Yeah. That's
so to answer this question, the counter question should come from you. Yeah, go ahead, Dinesh. You have an answer?
Yeah, I think soul is the truth also.
Soul is the truth also, right? So the counter question that you should ask me is, when you say truth, right? Counter question should be, Okay, which truth you are talking about? Relative truth, absolute truth. When we talk about relative truth, where and all the relative truth is relative to my own vision, my own thinking, my own feeling, my own emotion, my own body, my own system, my own society, whatever that my own you categorize, that is your relative thinking. And there is something called absolute thing. Not thinking, absolute truth. Relative truth, absolute truth. That absolute truth is everywhere, but I don't have the experience of that absolute truth. So what I'm trying to get to is, using my relative truth, I am trying to get to absolute truth. Absolute truth is the real truth. Relative truth keeps changing. That's why the senses, the body, the mind, the intelligence, these are all relative truths. They are there. Yes, they are there. They are there permanently. No, they are not there. What is real? Absolute truth is real. Relative truth will come and go. So if I try to bring that in my system and say, where and all the relative truth is going on, where and all I have an opportunity to experience that absolute truth, is when I experience it, when I become that, I am in this state. I'm in the state of Sahasrara, crown chakra. That's why it's called state. It's not called chakra, it's called state. So today what we're going to talk about is, there is a lot of context to this. Please make note, keep a pen and paper with you. Lot of chakra, lot of your awareness levels. We'll talk about the key attributes, what type of soul lessons you have to learn, at what state you are in. So we're going to talk about a lot of those details today. Today, and if time runs out, then we'll have subsequent section, until we'll start from the lowest chakra and we go all the way to the highest chakra. Why is anybody behaving the way they are behaving? Right? Why is anybody acting the way they are acting outside? And why that reflection is happening inside? We're going to talk about a lot of details as to how this whole system is coming together. I'm going to quote some stanzas from Bhagavad Gita as well, right? The reason for this session, the soul evolution process, is very important for each of us to understand two things. One, where we are in my own evolution, where I have to go. Right? In that process, we'll understand what are the things I need to do. So today I am in this state. Okay, I am in the Anahata chakra. Right? I have attained certain aspect of my spiritual, over a period of time, because of my spiritual practices, because of what I have been doing, what I have been thinking and all that. I have got to a point where I have sustained a lot of information within my system. Now I am ready to go to the next chakra. What does it mean? What do we need to get out? So we'll talk about some of those things today, right? Now, when we talk about it, you also will have a relation on the material aspect of it. What happens when a person who believes in gods, a person who do not believe in God, where do they stand in relation to the truth, right? So we'll also look at some of those perspectives. And then we will quickly also understand what are my solutions. What do I need to do as a practice? What are my spiritual tools that I need to use to get to that next level? Because that is important. Ultimately, knowing about it is one thing, and understanding the practice, what we need to do to go to the next level, is a different thing. But it's very important to understand that aspect as well. So in this session, we will try to cover from the lower chakra. We all understand our energy system, the way it works in our own state, between the vital and astral, and casual and supra-casual, all those bodies, the 9 body system we talk about and all that. the key energy centers, we know that it starts from the root chakra, right? The lowest chakra, Muladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipuraka, Anahata, Vishuddhi, then starts Ajna chakra, then Sahasrara sthiti. Sahasrara is a sthiti. So when I put this in pursuit of my truth, how do I need to elevate myself? That is the conversation here. We are not talking about activation of a chakra. We are not talking about working on a particular chakra to make sure that it is giving me what I am yielding for or looking for and all that. This session is not meant for. This session is meant for us to start to look at the evolution path from where you are to where you need to be. The ultimate, absolute truth. That's the focus. So if we start from the first chakra, root chakra is called basic chakra, right? The base chakra. What is the scope of it? It is under the base of the spine, which is the root chakra. And the way you look at it is, it has the element of earth. In the 5 elements, earth element is carried in the root chakra. And the color, typically it is, I think it's red. Red is the color there. And then what happens is your awareness level. What is my awareness level in that state? Is your awareness level will always be physical survival energies. And how the individual will be? With ignorance. There is no knowledge, there is no information, there is absolutely nothing out there at that level. If a person is in that Muladhara state, he will be an ignorant person in context of truth, right? Soul has just taken the form. It is only looking at the physical body level activities, what my body needs. It has not even come to the mind level. It is only looking at the body level. The body level activities is more like, tamo guna activities, where it is enjoying, pleasure, fun, eating, sleeping, a lot of those things. That's it. There is no too much of thinking. There is no too much of growing in the mind space. It's just the basic survival things. That is how the individuals are who are actually in the Muladhara state. What is the key traits? What are the key traits they will distribute? They have is fear. They are in fear-driven beings. They are driven by the fear. Fear is the most and materialistic, totally materialistic. And who do we call it in the philosophical world? We call it atheist, right? They are totally disconnected from the soul. They don't understand the concept of soul. They don't understand the concept of higher energies, nothing. They are just in the survival energies. Most of the atheists are in this state. So if we bring what are the lessons that these individuals are supposed to get at this state of their root chakra, is stability. They have to have that level of security for them to be able to move to the next level. And they are rootedness. It is totally physical energy. They are only looking at physical energy. And how do I practice? What are the practices I need to do? They have to be in the nature. They have to have, walking. They have to go be, in a mindful meditation sessions, gratitude practice, physical level, whatever you are able to express, you are able to do things. All those things, if they are able to do it physically, they can start to get to the next level. This is very important, because if people who are in the root chakra, no matter how many different ways you talk to them, they will not mold, because ignorance is the way of living for them. If I'm ignorant and you come in, it's like, you come in hammering again and again that you should be doing this, you should be doing that. I don't get it, because my space of energy and your space of energy is totally different. So that's why it takes longer cycles to handhold someone who is in the Muladhara. And even the gunas, the karmas, the kind of work, the kind of thinking, everything is at a very, very different physical level. It is always physical bound. That is the first level. So Nastikavadi, that's what we call, right? Atheist. They do not believe in God. They only believe what is physically in existence. I want to see this. You talk about God, you bring God in front of me. Then let's talk. Show me. That is how they are. That is. Then comes the next state, which is Swadhisthana. Below navel area is where your Swadhisthana is there. This is called creative soul activity. First one is a grounded soul. You're actually in the physical level at the earth as an element. The second one comes little bit more, which is lighter, which is water. In the Swadhisthana, the color is orange, I believe. And what it does, right? It is all about the state between your mental state and the physical state. You're actually getting into the astral aspect of it. That's why it's a creative soul level. Emotional and sensory awareness. Your awareness is always emotional. Emotionally, you are aware. Your senses are working absolutely. You are hearing, you are thinking, you are eating, all those senses. You are seeing all of that. And the key traits that you establish when you have a person who is with this kind of awareness or this kind of state is emotional reaction will always be there. There is a lot of emotional imbalance, emotional play will be there. They will be looking for more pleasure seeking. They are more into, I need to go do this, I need to bring this, I need to get that, attachment to lot of desires. They have a lot of desires that they want to fulfill. I want to go get that, I want to do this, I want to, every time it is all about I need to do this kind of a thinking will be there for them. These folks actually believe in God. They do understand, they do, at least accept the fact that there is a higher power out there. There is a soul power. They don't necessarily understand the soul knowledge, but they do understand that there is a power out there that is controlling it. That's why theist, right? All theists are in this state, Swadhisthana, second state. And what are the soul lessons they are learning? Why you are in this state? You are learning about emotional reactiveness, detachment, right? You're attached to so much of desires. Every day you have hundreds of desires that you want to fulfill, right? What is permanent, what is impermanent, understanding that. How do I come out of this desire structure? Those are the soul lessons that the evolution process will teach you during this. The flow and emotional vitality. The state is like you have so much of, desires are always flowing through you. What are my spiritual lessons? What are my tools? What do I practice to be able to go to the next level? Is, anything that related to arts, dancing, singing, creative arts, we do a lot of, mind emotional. So journaling, any journals that you write, inner child, whatever you have emotionally that you have struck here, inner child work, all the deeper things that you're working on is all in the second state, which is Swadhisthana. And you find a lot of emotional people who are actually stuck in this state. So what happens is we understand that I am in this state, but then I don't know how to progress further. So there are certain things you need to give up. There are certain things that you need to gain for you to go to the next level. Every state, you need the energy. Every state, every one of us requires all those energies, but they have to be balanced. Nothing can be over, nothing can be under. They have to be balanced. And that's the whole idea of doing this Anapanasati, right? The Anapanasati is balance. Bring balance into your life. The relative truth and absolute truth have to flow together in balance. Then how do they progress? So they progress next into the third state, which is the Manipuraka state, right? Now, in this state is when you actually talk about little bit conceptual things about scriptures, about masters, what people have talked about God. Now you start, Pandit, Pandits. The third state is when you start to realize that, okay, I need to gain. That's why all Pandits are in Manipura state. Again, they are no way close to truth. Truth is far, far away from them. If you look at Pandits, they can talk about Vedas, they can talk about, Sastras, they can talk about, Itihasas, Puranas, and all that. They can tell you so many things, but they don't have experience of truth. That is Manipuraka, which is above your navel area. Third area. Because you are a Pandit, you have this empowerment that you carry. The type of soul learning and then the way you are looking at when you are in that state is empowerment. And fire, because it's a navel above, which is Jataragni, right? That's what we call is fire element, is active for them. I believe it's yellow. Yellow is the color, if I remember. And then these folks have got very good mental strength because they are able to read, grasp information. They are able to understand a lot of it. They now see the God in the books, not the God as where he said he would be, right? They can read a lot of stuff. They can understand, they can grasp, but because they have that Panditya, they have that knowledge, they think they are very egocentric. So when you become in the third stage, in the Manipuraka stage, ego comes in. Ego is in full play. What happens because of that? They are not ready for the truth. Right? So the awareness level wise, mentally very strong, very, very great, focus on the mental plane. But then they are very egocentric, right? So what happened? The key traits, if you start to look at it, a lot of intellectual proudness, argumentative nature. I want to sit and argue with you. You say there is no God. I say there is God. Let's argue. Let's put your point of view. Let's put my point of view. Because ego, right? My point is right. Your point is not right. Status consciousness is what we call. Right? Very, very altercative in terms of, it's not like, lower vibration of altercation. It's more like, my point is right versus your point, and I try to prove my point all the time. I don't accept if you say something that I want to prove my point. That is the lesson that you get when you are in the third state, right? Strength, your personal power, identity, your transformation, all these are happening at that state, right? You are looking for your own personal energy. Whatever the power that you gained by reading the Sastras, by reading, books, a lot of the book keeping people, right? Book lovers, whoever is reading books, right? And then we say that I'm going to talk about books, but they don't have experience. They can talk about what a master talked about it. You can talk about what Patriji said, but then they don't want to practice what Patriji asked to do. So bookish knowledge, that is Panditya. So what are the tools that how do I develop? Okay, I know that I am in this state now. What are the things I need to do? Breath work. Most important, to bring your ego in balance, breath work. Self-discipline. Mindful speech, mindful speech. Know when to talk, know when not to talk. You have to practice all these things. Karma yoga. Right? When you start to do some of these things, slowly you are elevating your soul evolution to the next state, which is the most important state, and which we call the bridge. Higher and lower, the bridge is Anahata. Hatha. Anahata. Center of your chest is where Anahata. This is where you have now a shift coming. First time you are introduced into the world of truth. Now, till this time, all these three states, everybody is in the most likely relative truth. They are stuck in the relative truth, material. I want a name, I want a fame, I can do this, I can do that, I can build this, I can get that. In the first state, you are only looking at your survival. In the second state, you're looking at survival and you're also getting some name and fame. In the third state, you got the name and fame. Now you want, hey, I want my expand my knowledge base in the relative path. Little bit of a touch from scriptures, masters, what they're talking about. I can talk, I can tell you about this stokam, this stotra, this mantra. I can give you elaborated speeches about certain topics and all, but I do not have any experience. Now comes the next state, which is the most important of all, is Anahata. Center of the chest is where Anahata is. This is where you have the touch of truth. So where do you have this? This is where you have folks who are talking about Vedanta. Anyone who actually has gone deeper study of Vedanta, who have started to get a feel and touch of truth, absolute truth, they are in this state, Vedanta. They are very compassionate souls because they start to understand truth. They are very compassionate. And air element is how they carry through things, and it's actually I think it's green color is what this chakra carries. But it's all heart awareness. Now you are moving from your mind consciousness to heart consciousness. Heart-centered awareness is what you're doing it. The key attributes, key is compassionate, because the qualities of heart is what you're distributing. Empathetic, spiritual curiosity, trying to understand more about truth. What is this truth about? What is the scriptures talking about? I have learned Vedam. I understood what God is. Now, how do I relate God in terms of truth? What is this? I'm dwelling between these two. Again, you do not have any experience of truth. There is no practice, right? So what happens? It is all about that emotional energy that you're bringing in and trying to grasp all the information, whatever you have started to do it. What are the lessons that I am learning here? Heart level is unconditional love. Portraying the unconditional love, forgiveness, right? Divine, establishing a divine connection within yourself. These are all the traits for Anahata. The fourth one, heart chakra. So when I start to bring all of them together, what are the spiritual tools that I would need, or spiritual practices I need to bring in my life to be able to go to that next level, right? Meditation, loving, caring meditations, heart coherence practice, anything that's heart coherence. You're centering yourself, you're practicing the love, empathy, any of those things you bring into your life. Of course, meditation is there in every state of it, because every state to state, it's the meditation that balances and takes you to the next levels and all that. So meditation will always be there. But the more you practice, at what level you are on, at where you want to go, that is how the energies are coming together. So in the heart chakra, if I'm trying to look at it, I wanted to bring that kind of a loving, compassionate, I'm so thankful for you, gratitude wise. That is how you are in that fourth state, which is the most important state, because without that state, you're not getting into the upper chakras, which is where your real spirituality kicks in. So far, in the lower end, you have the materialistic approach, and slowly you're getting into the spiritual approach. You're connecting both of them. Every chakra has to be balanced. There is no doubt about it. Just because you have, Ajna chakra that got activated, and then your Muladhara is not working, then you are with the fear energies, but then you have the vision energies, what good they are. You're getting more and more afraid because the fear energies are dragging you down. So that's why in this state, you have Vedanti knowledge, but understand little bit of a truth, bookish truth knowledge, no experience, no practice. Now, this is where the next one is where it all comes down to. Is as you practice the lovingness, the kindness, the heart coherence practices, you start to evolve yourself from that process and you come to the next state, which is called the yogic state, which is Vishuddhi. Vishuddhi is the fifth throat chakra. It's right in the throat. Expressive soul. The soul is expressive soul. You want to express what you have gained. Lot of the yogic practices, right? The first one we said Nastika, Astika, Pandit, then Vedantic, then now Yogic. Fifth one. At this stage, you start to bring the truth, what you have understood, a little bit into practice. Into practice. This is where meditation comes in play. Every aspect meditation is there, but this is where folks who are in this state take meditation seriously. They'll start to believe that meditation works. They start to see that, okay, I am an expressive soul. I want to start to look at it. What is the element here? Ether, Akash. So you are going beyond the state of your body, mind, senses, intelligence. You're going beyond that. So what happens? The blue, Akasha is blue. Blue is the color. And then slowly you get expression of truth. You want to express the truth. You want to surrender to the truth. That is how you look at it when you are in the Vishuddhi state of it. All yogis, most of them yogis who are practicing are actually in this state. They have, the key attributes or key traits they display is always spiritual discipline. Yoga gives you that spiritual discipline and you are seeking the truth. Your intuition gets activated at this stage because now you are getting more inside, not outside. You have left the outside part, now you've gone inside. So what happens is your intuition starts to activate. The inner voice gets activated. You have your own self-expression. You will surrender to the divine. The will of the divine, you start to accept it. Truthfulness is the way of living. You start to accept the truth as it comes to you. Again, you do not have the experience of truth because in this, your understanding of truth may be different. Remember that. Your understanding of the truth may be different. Because you may perceive that I got this power is truth. And you may go there and stuck for, 10 or eternity, right? Whatever, 20 lifetimes or so. And then you come back. Yoga will help you to go deeper inside, but then it also can divert you into siddhis. Siddhi is not truth. Truth has nothing to do with siddhi. Siddhi is a power. When you hold on to that power, you are out of the truth, path of truth. You are somewhere else. Now you got to come back again, right? So that's why a lot of that work you have to start bringing everything together. Everything has to be centered. Everything has to be balanced. So you need to know a lot of those things. So what are the things that would help you? Focus, concentration, silence, meditation in silence, slowly, conscious communication. Absolutely, you're aware what is happening, and then you're communicating. You know what you're talking. You're being very mindful. A lot of chanting japas and all of that, right? So yogic practices, like you're going deeper in your space. You're trying to go inside inner journey. That is where Vishuddha is all about. Sorry, Vishuddhi. Then comes the next stage. As you practice some of these things, as you bring yourself into closer to the silence, inner silence, closer to the conscious communication, expressing your truth, living in the truth, slowly you start to grasp the real essence of truth in that practice. So you have understood the knowledge, you have slowly brought that knowledge into practice. Now you have come to a point where you are ready for some of those deeper experiences. That is where it comes down, where you call knowledge, the truth, the knowledge, absolute truth. Right? You touch that absolute truth. You're not done yet. You're just there. That is your third eye, Ajna Chakra. It's called visionary soul. The souls who are in the visionary state are called in the in the Ajna space. Light is the element. They see light. They see the divine light, the white light, the healing light, and all different types of lights, aura, different portraits of aura and all that. Indigo is the color there. Intuitive wisdom. They live in the intuition. They don't do anything outside. They do everything inside. Intuitive, inner insight. You have the inner sight. You can feel the energy. You can believe what is coming from inside is more valuable and more truth than what is happening outside. Your surrendering does not matter to you anymore. Don't get misunderstand that you may be a third eye master, but you're not having some of these traits, then you are not there yet. Right? Because third eye master can go all the way up. Right? Higher intuition, inner visions, egoless knowledge. There is absolutely no ego at this point, and you are soul aware. You understand the concepts of what truth is. You understand what is relative truth, what is absolute truth. You have absolute experience to some extent what that soul awareness means. How do you go within your system and all that. Now, what are the lessons that I am learning at this state? Okay, I know everything. I am in this state of, this is where it's called Gnana. Gnani, right? Someone who is like Vedanti, Yogi, and Gnani. Gnanis are always in this state. They are more than Yogi. Yogi is like bringing everything together, but then one who actually brought everything together and also experienced it inside is a Gnani. Right? They have very clear clarity. They have awareness. They have the inner vision to be able to do things properly. Very high mental energy. So what are they learning? What do I need to do to go to that final state? What are my spiritual lessons that I need to impart to myself? Deep meditation, sincere and serious meditation is required. Third eye activation, activating your third eye in a deepest level is required. There are other practices like in yoga, tataka, gazing practice, and a lot of those things are there. Like inner, it's called, what do you call that? Inquiry, vichara, right? You inquire inside what is happening, what are the things coming your way, how your thoughts are coming, how your thoughts are shaping you. All those things you will start to bring everything together. Your priority is more inside than outside. That is the Gnani state. Now, a lot of us will say that, okay, at this stage I'm done, right? I've got everything, I've achieved it, I am now with knowledge and I have experience, so I have a wisdom of myself, I am done. That's where we get fooled, right? There is one more state, which is the final state. That is the real state. I'm not absolute yet. I'm still relative, less relative, more absolute. But relative part is still there. I'm not done yet. Then comes the final aspect of it, which is where you move as you do deeper meditations, as you go longer, sincere, serious meditations, and you practice some of those things, then you get that inner sense that, okay, now you are ready for the next level, which is where the final, right? Sahasrara, crown chakra, top of the head, ultimate. These are transcendental souls. These are transcendental souls, or you can call universal souls or nirvanic souls. I mean, a lot of names to that, right? Final state. What do they carry? What do they do? How are the elements? They connect to energy, cosmic energy. They live in this cosmic energy. Either it is violet or white, the color that it displays. What is their awareness level? Unity in diversity, enlightenment, consciously aware of divine oneness. They work in the divine oneness. Seva, unconditional service to humanity. They don't, at this point, you don't differentiate between living being to living being. Human beings on one side, animals on other side, plants on other side. There is nothing like that. Everyone is one and only one for you. You are merged. What are the key traits? You are merged with the universal consciousness. That is what we call, when you go do the inner journey, you call blissful state. You are in that state. There is no ego. Ego has totally dropped within you, and you have achieved some state of samadhi. You have gone into the deeper state. You understand what bliss is all about. You understand pari, mahapari, sunya. You have gone through the deeper experience within your practices, with your practices. Now, whatever you read, whatever you understood, whatever you practiced, everything is lining up. Now, it is no longer somebody said this, somebody said that. Even though that somebody said this, somebody said that is there, you always give your touch of your wisdom. Because you are in the final state, you have your own experience on what has happened 100 years back. Like Paramahamsa Yogananda went into Samadhi, what happened? When I followed that, I had this experience. So you talk about Paramahamsa's experience, and then you also add your own experience to it, because you also went through the same thing. Why and what am I learning at this state? Right? There is a question that, okay, after I hit the Sahasrara state, there is nothing. What else is there now? This earthly bound soul requirements are done, but you still have to go to the higher dimensions, right? So oneness in all, looking oneness in all, divine realization, right? Soul liberation. You're working towards that. Soul liberation, divine realization, oneness. What is your state? You are in unity. You are in an absolute divine awareness. You have a divine connection to yourself. The divine is working through you. All the sankalpas, all the activity, whatever the very good intentional things that are coming your way are coming from a universal good, for universal good. You're not creating that. And energy level that you carry at this state is spiritual energy, the true spiritual energy. So what are the tools that you need when you are in this state? You are meditating. Your meditation happens in silence. You've got a lot of cosmic affirmations. You're hearing things, everybody, masters coming out, reaching out. You are in communion with the source, right? The universal power, whatever is coming, you are in communion with that. Your intuition is highest state. So you are able to connect to the higher masters, and you can put your questions and you are able to receive that. You can go into meditation in a very deeper level. A lot of those things happen for people who are in this Sahasrara sthiti, the transcend. They can transcend between the states and go deeper, and they can go look at it. They can go back, they can go future. I mean, a lot of things can happen when you are in this state. Now, what happens when you are in this state? Seva. So people who actually come and do this unconditional seva, they don't expect anything. There is also confusion about seva. Like I usually talk about seva a lot. But if I am doing some seva, if my name is all popping up, then that is not seva. My work should pop up. My name should not pop up. That is seva. It doesn't really matter who is doing it. Who I does not matter. Work matters. That's it. If you are living with that kind of inner, right, thinking or inner intention or inner, ability for you to bring it together, right, in your feelings, in your emotions, if you have brought everything together and you're saying that I am serving the society, serving society is my priority, I don't need any appreciation. I'm not here to appreciate you. I'm not here to appreciate me. You donate, you don't call your name out. You say, I don't need my recognition. Name and form are out at this state. If anybody who is doing seva with name and form, they are not in Sahasrara. They are in the lower states. If you are doing it without name and form, then you are in that state. Sahasrara. So it may very well happen that your Sahasrara may be balanced, but your Muladhara may not be balanced, or other chakras may not be balanced. So slowly, as you keep doing meditation, every day you're bringing that awareness, you're standing, sitting in the stillness, you're practicing it. Every chakra automatically aligns. Whatever the misalignments you have, whatever the, vibrational states that have to be adjusted, everything gets automatically adjusted, and eventually you hit that Sahasrara state. So that's why we talk about inner journey. We don't say that, hey, meditation, you can sit and go do whatever you want. Okay? You have to go through your own journey, so that you start from Muladhara and slowly reach to Sahasrara and come back again. So I want to balance my relative truth and material truth. I want to be materialistic, संसार में रहने का, निर्वाण भी आने का, संसार को निर्वाण का जोड़ने का. That can come only when you are bringing them together. How can that happen? I will live in the family, but yet I am detached from the family. I am everything, I am nothing. So that balance has to come. That's why practicing meditation is a very important thing. If you want to really get into that higher states of vibration, where you are experiencing truth as it stands. No, if I am able to explain about it, I'm able to talk about it. Some come and talk about guided meditation. Some come and talk about, mind level activities, healing, right? You talk about healing. These are nothing to do with truth. Where is healing happening? Between the mind and body, right? When you are doing healing, or you're looking at health, you're looking at some of the activities that are happening within your system, or some problem that you got that you're working on, intention, or any kind of issue that you're going through. All these are body, mind, consciousness. They will never be in the truth. They are far away from truth. It takes time. They are in the lower chakras. So what happens is, you are only connected to the truth when you are in the higher state of, in the higher state of chakras, or in the higher state of your soul evolution. Your focus is only truth, and truth alone. Nothing else will matter. Truth and truth alone. That divine oneness is what matters. That's it. Everything else is not important, because everything else will fall off. You know that. If I am not reaching my Sahasrara state in this lifetime, I have to come back. If someone was asking me other day question, I have experiences of my third eye, activation. I'm going through a lot of things. And I also have little bit of, in the Anahata area, that I can feel, I can intuitionally do that. And also what does this mean? Is this like, I'm closer to enlightenment and all that? It has nothing to do with enlightenment. Enlightenment is not about, getting one state and then saying that, okay, I'm done. It is a constant, practice that you are in that state all the time. So the simple question is, okay, are you living in the truth? Right? When you say, yeah, I'm living in the truth, what does truth mean to you? When you answer it, you will know what truth is. If I'm experiencing truth, I'm not differentiating truth and myself. If I'm able to differentiate truth is different than me, then I'm not in truth, because I'm seeing it differently. Your life is truth, truth is life. That's it. That is the last state. And that state only comes when you go through your own emotional, your own physical, your own, mental, your own intellectual. All that drama has to happen. So it is a journey. You have to go through all that to be able to get there. Even though you try to pretend to be in the divine oneness, you will not be able to hold the energies there. For you to be in the divine oneness, you may think that, okay, I'm in the divine oneness today, I wanted to hold the energy. You won't be able to hold the energies. You will fall out. You cannot carry that kind of, philanthropic lifestyle that a person who is in the transcendental level does. He's thinking, he's doing, he's feeling, everything is universal. So it is very, very hard to even imitate or get hold to stand to that kind of visions. He always will be goal-centric. He always will be talking about visions. He always talks about universe. His life is all universal. He always talks about, like in PSSM, there are like so many masters, right? If you talk to them, they say, my life is my Patriji's mission. That's it. There's so many masters like that. They are in the Sahasrara state because they have dedicated their life to this movement. That's it. They don't have anything else other than this. That's it. So there is no expectation. You give them food, you don't give them food, you give them transportation, you don't give them no accommodation. It doesn't really matter. Is there somebody who is interested to learn? Yes, they will go all the way wherever it is. Why am I putting conditions to myself? Because I'm not there yet. Why is that my thinking is coming to a point where I'm trying to differentiate between this and that? Is the reason why I'm differentiating between this and that is I'm still in the duality. I'm not in the final state yet. So there is a journey that I still have to do it. How do I do it? I go through my own meditation. I go through my own communion with the source. I still have to dissolve myself in that oneness, in the deeper state of meditation. That's how we get it. So it's an interesting, fascinating soul evolution process. So when you talk about, like earlier I talked about people who are in the state from Muladhara to Sahasrara, atheist, theist, Pandits, Vedantics, Gnanis, yogis, then Gnanis, then finally you get Sahasrara state where Vignanis. That is what the PSSM society is all about. Vignani. Gnani, Vignani, two different things. Gnani is the one who accepts that there is higher knowledge, understand the absolute truth, and sits like that. Vignani, Vigna means he actually goes and experiences different traits of truth. How do I experience? Truth has got multiple different flavors, right? I want to go experience it. That's when you become a spiritual scientist, Vignani. So that's why Ajnani, Gnani, Sugnani, Vignani, Vignani. 5 of them. You don't know anything. You have understood. You little bit got the information. Then you took that information and you went deeper into it, Sugnani. Then you experimented a little bit and you got the essence of it, little essence of it. Then now you are experimenting on it. It's the final state, 5th one, Vignani. Right? So when you become Vignani, you will not say that I'm done. You will say, now it has begun. The journey has begun when you become a Vignani. Because for Vignani, there is so much out there. When you say everywhere, where is soul? Soul is everywhere. Where is truth? Truth is everywhere. What does it mean? I'm just in one earth, third dimension, one earth between the 14 lokas, right? This is one earth where I am. Like that, how many are there? Like that, how many experiences? How many dimensions? How many different permutations and combinations? How many births have taken? Time, transcending space. How do I experience that? I'm going deeper into the state of being. And then how do I do what happens without body? Everybody is worried about what happens after death. Nobody said, where was I before birth? Nobody asked the question, where was I before the birth? That's where you will go after the death. So I want to go. That's why in PSSM society, you see a lot of Vignanis who have attained the state of universalhood, but then are experimenting. They don't take anything for granted. They experiment it. I want my flavor of everything, what I am listening or what I am hearing, what I am understanding, and what I have been told or reading, from a master. I'm reading a book. I got this beautiful concept. I want to try that concept. Experience it. Because I am a practical, you are a practical person because you are a master. That's why in the PSSM we call masters. Everybody is a master because you are a Vignani. You're not Ajnani. So that's how the soul evolution works. And then this is a continuous process from here on. It is, you cannot say, hey, I'm done here, right? As you start to get to the higher states, you have the gunas, tamo guna, rajo guna, sattva guna, suddha sattva guna, nirguna. How do I get, right? Yeto gunaha tato karma. That's what they say, right? Yeto gunaha, the way, eti antar thati bahir. What does it mean? The way you are thinking inside is how exactly you are outside. The way your gunas are being controlled inside, that's how your karmas are happening outside. Because ultimately, the action that I am doing is dependent upon the guna I am carrying. In these 7, whatever we just spoke, I am somewhere here. Because I am somewhere in the 3rd level, 4th level, whatever the level or whatever the sequence, where I am in that state, I am attributing those experiences. I am calling those experiences to come to my life, and I am living with that kind of lifestyle. So my actions will only be at that level. You are in the 2nd floor, you will only know 2nd floor. You will not know 10th floor. There is no way. Until you go to 10th floor, you will not know it. Similarly, the 10th floor person will only know 10th floor. He will not know 2nd floor. He may have come through his own journey to the 10th floor, at which point, if he remembers, yes, he can. But he always wants to be in the 10th floor. So what happens is that misconception that I'm here, I'm there, all that is depends upon which type of guna you are carrying at any given moment of time. So the more and more we start to embrace this soul evolution knowledge and understand how do we need to practice, what do I need to bring together, what are the things that I need to look into, how I need to make the whole practice come together, slowly the journey will begin, and then slowly the practical approach will start. Theoretical approach will come down, the practical approach will start. Let me experience it. Let me have my version of truth. All right. Any questions, masters, at this time? This is a very, very deep subject. This is, we have just talked it in a very, very high level, but it is very deep subject when you go and look at your own and correlate this knowledge towards your own life and what are the things coming to you, and where you are and what you need to do to progress. A lot of it's a very deep subject. So I know I cannot do justice in one session, but nevertheless, this is an important one to know where we are and why we are. Actually, why am I expressing things the way I'm expressing? Because you have those gunas, you are in that state. When you are in the 2nd state or 3rd state, you cannot be talking about divine oneness. You will never be able to carry those energies to be at that level. When you are in 6th state, 7th state, that's when you talk about some of these things.
So I have a question here, Anil Gar.
Yes, ma'am, please.
So in order to reach to that universal oneness state, so we need to, these are the things we are supposed to do, right? Like everyday meditation, teach meditation, do seva. And also the sankalpa has to be there, we have to reach to that level, right?
Exactly. The desireless desire.
Okay.
What do we call I want moksha, right? So a lot of them say, hey, I want moksha is also a desire, right?
Yeah.
Then that's a desireless desire. So when you have that one desire, it will take you to the desireless state. See, a lot of them ask me, when I am doing this seva, I still have my I factor. I cannot let go of my I factor. I want to let go it, but I still have that recognition. So I was telling the other day to someone. So I said, you cannot just become nishkamya, you cannot just come to, you are doing a lot of work on your personal level, family level and all that. And then suddenly if you say that, okay, you have to be, nishkamya, and then no results, you don't do it, you just do it without expectation, you just do it without any results, it is not possible. You're jumping, you're jumping from say stage 2 to stage 5 or stage 6. It doesn't work that way. So what happens is, for them, they have to do sat karma. When you do sat karma for some time, that sat karma will slowly translate into no karma and no expectations. Satkarma will give you enough kind of practice so that you slowly start to lose your identity in that divine work. And over a period of time, that Satkarma will lead to Nishkamya Karma. And Nishkamya Karma will lead you into the state of divine oneness.
Okay.
So it is a journey. That's why it takes time. It takes patience. You have to keep doing it. Anytime. See, a lot of times, someone was asking, right? Hey, I get my spiritual work, I get my material work. What is the priority? Right? You have to be able to see, where you need to put, can my material work, my duty versus responsibility, right? One thing you brought to yourself, Seva. The other thing is you're born with it. So which one takes precedence depends upon the circumstance. You should be able to evaluate it. Okay, if this duty, I cannot forego it, no one else can do it, then duty takes precedence over the seva. But there is a way that you can have someone else come and do your duty, right? And then you are able to go do your seva where you are the only one who can do it, then that takes precedence. And then there is also like whether the work is universal work or individual work, So a lot of those things, again, it's a practice. It's an individual life. We have to go through it our own journey. Then slowly we will get to that. The more and more we do seva, the more and more you embrace the minus I factor, right? I'm not there. I'm not the one. I just need to, the work has to be there. The person should not be visible. That's it. That is how the divine oneness state. If you look at it, Patriji, the way he used to work, you will never see him anywhere. But things will happen. That is Sahasrara. And then you're not attached. Again, some things work, some things don't work. When things work, you're not happy. When things do not work, you're not disappointed. You are balanced. Always you are in the state of universal oneness. So whatever may be the result, you're not disturbed. You're just looking for, hey, give me your feedback, whatever it is. I'll take it. Good, bad, ugly, doesn't matter. So as you start to bring all of those things together, you yourself will have that shift within you as you practice that. That's why Karma Yogi, the experience that you are getting in the deeper state of meditation, you can also get that in the seva, provided Kartrutva, Bhoktutva has to be let go. You got to give up.
Thank you. So, but still it's achievable in this lifetime when we keep practicing.
Absolutely. That is the goal.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the only state you will not come back. Otherwise, you will come back.
Thank you, Anil.
Any other questions, masters? All right. If no questions, then we'll call it a night. We'll see you all next week for the same at another topic. But if you do have questions, do let me know. Send me a note or send me a text or anything like that. And then tomorrow we are actually meeting at Frederick, Maryland for a satsang. So if you are around in the DMV area and you're planning to visit us, please let us know or join us there. The information has been posted in the groups. Let's do what we can together to make sure that we spread the movement and then take this to the next level. All right, masters. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you, Master.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anil.
Thank you.